Welcome, everyone, to the Plastic Cards podcast, episode who knows what. Today's April 1st.
Over.
Yeah. And I want to do an actual legit intro for you, Gavin, I think. So
For me?
I think so. I'm joined with Gavin Jones, indie developer extraordinaire. And I'm Fonze. I just play games.
There you go.
But
Those are some sweet glasses you have, by the way.
you like them?
Are those brand spanking new?
No, I've had them for a while, but they have like a popsicle wood side to them. Yeah.
Goodness. Video games.
Yeah, video games. You know, I go to this website called Zenny Optical, and they're not a sponsor, of course, because no one listens to this show, but they have like lenses for like $15. Like everything made, shipped, ready to go. Like these were, I don't know, like, yeah, $10. It's nuts. So I'm like, every paycheck, I'm buying a new pair of glasses, like every time.
Where was this back when you were a teenager and you went like almost a year without glasses?
Yeah, because it's like, it was tied to my insurance or my parents' insurance, so you just had to deal with it. It sucked. But now you can just, like anything on the internet, you can just plug in and just go directly to the source and not have to deal with a middleman anymore.
Yeah.
But yeah, man. Well, how was your weekend? Did you do anything crazy?
Yeah, it was my girlfriend's. I almost said my girlfriend's boyfriend. My girlfriend's brother was in town, so we got to hang out with him and his girlfriend and her friend. We went and did a thing up. He took a class for brewing spirits or distilling.
Oh, that's got to be crazy hard, I feel like, compared to, because I thought you were going like brewing beer, which, although that's technically insane too, but spirits has got to be nuts.
I don't really know. Well, it's also weird too because, like, I guess it's illegal to distill them yourself.
Oh,
which is weird because a lot of people do that.
Yeah,
so I don't know if it's just one of those laws that's not really enforced unless maybe you're doing like moonshine or something.
Well, it's not dangerous. It's just a legal thing, right? It's not like
it can be dangerous.
Oh, I always think of the Simpsons episode where Homer's making beer in his tub and he blows up like the house or half the house.
I mean, if you do it wrong and it becomes like ethanol or whatever, then you can go blind if you drink it.
That's when it's primo stuff, though. Risking going blind.
I'm gonna be so drunk.
That's cool.
But yeah, and then we just played some board games, mainly this game called Love Letter, which is super duper fun.
What is that?
It's like, you can pretty well strip away the theme. It's like a fun little card game where all the cards have, you know, just little cool abilities, and you're trying to knock everyone out or have the highest card at the end.
Gotcha.
And it's a surprising amount of fun for how simple it is.
Does it have anything to do with? I was thinking like a dating card game or something, just with a love letter name to it.
I mean, that is the theme, but you could theme it whatever you want. And considering there's like hundreds of versions of it, they have themed it whatever they want.
Okay.
So
that's cool.
Yeah,
I do want to get more into board games. Like I've been I'll peruse like Target and just like look at the stuff there and kind of pick up random things. But
well, Target's not even that great a place to like pick up board games though, because they do have some really good ones there. Like they had, when I got there, I got the Target exclusive King of Tokyo, which is like super fun, kind of like sort of free for all. Everyone's like morphing their monster in big crazy ways, and that's really neat. Or they had
by building a deck or something, or
you kind of build like a very small deck.
Gotcha.
And then just getting yourself cool abilities, or there's like Forbidden Desert, which I should have you play sometime. It's really enjoyable, but yeah.
That's cool. Although I don't know if I want to go down an even nerdier like road, you know, with all the different hobbies and stuff. It's just like that one's.
It is
because eventually you get to like D&D, and it's just you're deep into it at that point.
Well, I think. If I think you don't get into D&D. It's not like pot, like leading to heroin or something.
It is
like
version of that.
It's like, well, because here's the thing: all the people I know that play board games, or like most of the people I know, they're kind of into different like subgenres. Like some people like the party games, like they're really into like the apples to apples or the Cards Against Humanity, or the newest one is Codenames, and I say it's a party game because I haven't really played it. But then you have stuff that's like more role play and storytelling, or there's stuff that I like that's more strategy stuff. Like it's all very different.
Gotcha. So I like the idea of those kind of overlapping. I think I might be more interested in those that combine like the apples to apples stuff, building a conversation or a weird joke, and then but the strategy with the other games you'll find. I don't know what can be done there, but You should make that. That'd be cool.
I played one that's like that. I didn't like it. I'm sure it can be done well, but that game did not do it well.
Simplified too, on top of that, because you can have all these moving parts. Did you think any more about my game idea for the dad closing doors in the house to keep the air conditioner?
I think that'd be like a hilarious like browser game for sure. Just like that one thing, but you got to do it like up to 11. But it's got to be more than just like. So you should probably explain what the game idea was that you had.
Oh yeah. So I was at a supermarket and I closed just my own initial response was to close this freezer door that was open, because I was thinking like, hey, that's I want to keep this thing efficient and like it's wasting energy, right? So I just closed it. But I'm thinking of a dad doing that around his house, just like monitoring levels of power consumption, whether it's like the fridge door being open or garage door, messing with the AC. And like I think it'd be cool to play a game where you're maybe first person. I'm thinking like there's that I think it's Neighbor or something. My Neighbor Next Door. It's like a first person.
That is
Hello Neighbor, in that style of where it's very simple, first person, and you're just moving around this house. But I'd love it if it was super detailed, where you had control over all these different flows of energy and like could really keep everything in line and make everything efficient as far as like the stuff that you leave open, or people and then struggling with your family just messing shit up all the time and you having to adjust it. I thought that would be awesome.
See, you and I interpreted this idea very differently, because I interpreted and it finally just solidified just now how I'd had to do it, but like all the elements of being like the stereotypical dad.
Yeah.
And then like you almost have to there's so much stuff to being a dad, and a lot of it's seasonal, that you'd really have to do it almost like a what's that game? What's the farming game that's sort of like Harvest Moon?
Not Farming Sim, or is it the Nintendo one?
Oh, it is a farming sim.
Oh, okay.
It's not Nintendo, but it's sort of Anyway, so you have basically this game where you're trying to maintain your dad's sanity, and your way of doing that is like there's stuff around the house, like somebody's got the door open when the air conditionings are on, or the the thing. So you're running around, you're closing all that stuff to maintain your sanity. And of course, things that can boost your mood, right? Like somebody says something like. I'm hungry, Dad, and you whip by with a response of "Hi, hungry, I'm Dad."
Dude, to fill up a meter or something.
Yeah. So you keep that going, or like your mood goes down because like your neighbor's lawn is better trimmed than yours, so you have to you're competing with all the other dads in the neighborhood. Just that ultimate dad simulator.
I would love over like the span of time is over a weekend, kind of like Five Nights at Freddy's, where you have to survive that weekend, where you have to just or imagine you're keeping everything in line, but for the ultimate end goal where you can relax, like you go to your den and you just have a beer or something, but you only get that if you control everything else. But you should make this. Would it be that hard to make some kind of first person, like crappy Hello Neighbor style, where it's just like?
Well, I've never really made 3D games aside from in college. So, I mean, in my head, I do top down. I'm thinking in a top down perspective, just because you could see the whole house and you could see everything going wrong. Like you see. A bird or a gust of wind knocks down this thing in your backyard, so you run out there. It would be a little hard, but I think it just depends on how you manage that. How would you manage that chaos in first person? You can. I know there's a way.
Yeah.
You just have to design it differently. In my head, it's all arcadey. In your head, you've got something.
Well, I'm thinking over arcadey as well, but where you're running around. I feel like it would be way more stressful, or I guess fun, to physically run around your house and see all these things happen, and then have to keep a tally, or there's some kind of ticker that's showing you the things you got to do. But I don't know, in that like Hello Neighbor style, or some kind of just really simple like 3D style of the house. You could
definitely do it too, if you actually are that dad that has the security cameras in his house.
You could. That's true. Where you're just kind of managing all from one space. Yeah. Anyways, get on that. I'll give you a week to kind of.
There we go. We have a week.
Well, you've been playing any video games this whole week?
I've been playing a fair amount of Final Fantasy VII.
Oh yeah, you were talking about that. Okay.
Yeah,
I have no desire to. Although I wish I could play it. Or have someone inject the memories into me, like, I played it before, but not spend any time.
Yeah.
Tell me about it.
It's just weird that, because, back in the day, it was like the greatest game of all time was like Ocarina of Time or Final Fantasy VII. Sure. And because people were divided by consoles, you played one or the other. So
gotcha.
I was in Club Ocarina of Time, and it's neat to finally get an experience. And it's very mature. There's like a lot of swearing. Like,
oh, really?
Yeah, and like some of it's handled a lot better than I would have thought would have been handled for, what was it, the 90s?
Yeah, like 94 or something, maybe. I know it was around that time.
So there was like this scene I was just recently in with a character called the Dawn that is mega rapey,
97.
like super duper rapey.
Okay.
And so I'm just like, this is like, just entering into it, I'm like, this is gonna age. This is not gonna be okay. And by the end of it, I was like laughing my ass off because it was so brilliantly, like the payoff for it was totally worth it. And it was like, okay, this may do okay getting remade.
That's good. I never hear anyone really complain or bring up any like controversies with the stuff they tackled in that game. But so they must have navigated it in a way that isn't too weird. But how's the gameplay? How does that hold up? Yeah, okay. Because there's various ports, right? Like there's like a mobile port that everyone shits on. I don't know if this is that. But it was on Switch, right? The one you're playing? Yeah. Okay. I'm not sure which one they ported.
They ported the PC one because it has the same bugs as the PC one apparently still has to this day.
Gotcha. Okay.
They never fixed it.
I see.
Yeah. But it's cool. It's nice to be able to turn up the speed by 3 so you can grind really fast.
I don't know what that means at all.
To grind really fast?
Just the turning up of speed to...
Oh, it makes the game run 3 times faster.
Okay. Why would you... that's interesting.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Okay.
But what have you been playing?
I have played a couple things. So I finished Zelda, Breath of the Wild. It was pretty cool.
You finished it.
I did. Well, as far as like I got the beasts and in Ganon beat them.
I count that.
There's tons of stuff around that I could spend more time, which I wouldn't mind. There's actually a lot of cool stuff to do.
Yeah.
I did buy that DLC that gets you the bike.
Yeah.
But to unlock the bike, you have to do all this crap that I do not want to do at all. So
is it more than just defeating a dungeon?
It's a series of dungeons or challenges rather, where you get this weapon that's like a one-hit kill, but in turn you die in one hit, and you have to defeat these different baddies around the map to move further. Then there's other things you have to do, and then you get the bike. And I couldn't do the first one. I was like, I don't want to do that at all. And so I looked it up, and there's plenty more to do after that before you unlock the bike.
Oh, shit.
So I just stopped caring. But I wanted, I supported them. Like, here you go, here's some money. There is some other like DLC like outfits that you get from that thing.
Yeah.
But
is it that hard though? Because you still kill them in one hit.
You do, but then you have to defend, and they're usually in packs where it's like outside where there's all these other bad guys around, like those little golem guys or whatever, and then the skeleton dudes that pop up. So there's usually enough happening to where it's easy for something to come up from behind you, like one of those bats, electric bats,
right,
and just take you out. So it was the kind of frustration where it's like I can see myself losing my mind. I don't want to do that. I want the bike. I want the bike, but I don't want to go through all that.
Fair enough.
But it was cool, and it was cool to see the end. I really liked the ending of it. The final battle with Ganon wasn't as hard as I thought, but it was still challenging enough. And they kept like leveling everything up to where I was like, just like, oh shit, him transforming, and just like, I love that. Spoilers, this game's a year old, but I guess it's not that old. But just with the way they revealed Ganon, he was maybe more different than I would have thought in his previous incarnation. So I liked.
Well, he is different though, because they pointed out that spoilers. He is normally he held back.
Oh, right.
So that he could reincarnate, and this time he did not. So theoretically, whatever timeline this is in, they just capped it off. Ganon cannot come back.
Yeah, and I did go down the YouTube rabbit hole of like where does this fit in? Because apparently there's nods to all games.
Did you see the? Yeah. It could be any one of them.
Right.
Yeah, which is interesting.
It's rad. It's like their kind of response to we kind of just went off the rails with all these different options. Maybe this kind of sums it up, but. No, it was really cool. I had a blast with it. It's nice to be on the other end, because that's what I wanted to be for so long. I wanted to be on the other end of this, where I finally go through the experience and have a good time. There was such a huge barrier for me where I just couldn't figure it out, and I was just getting so angry. But I've done it. But and I played The Messenger. Have you seen any of that? It's like a Ninja Gaiden kind of 8-bit style remake. It's cool.
Yeah, I know of it. It looks really cool. It looks hella hard.
It's not as hard as it reminds me a lot of Ninja Gaiden, right? And I remember playing that not that long ago, and it's brutally hard. Just like no movement at all. But this one seems a bit more lenient. it's just updated to where you can kind of move how you'd want to move, how it makes sense to you.
Yeah.
But it's still hard, but I've been getting through it. I think I'm like halfway through it. It's really fun. I've been playing on Switch, but that's like the primo way to play it, I think.
Heck yeah.
There's also this game on Switch called Gris that I was playing.
Gris.
Yeah, it's like a watercolor brought.
Oh, I know Gris. Yeah, is it
really
any
rad.
good?
It's not fun as far as the gameplay, but I don't want to shit on it because it's beautiful. It's incredibly beautiful. They're trying to create like an atmosphere, kind of like oh god, there's that one game I want to say it came out on PS3 first, but your Journey. It's a lot like that. They're trying to kind of take you along on an experience, but it's beautiful. Like the footage, the art style. I've never seen anything like it, and I really dig it. It's just the gameplay doesn't match that, but it's still a cool experience.
Which is,
It's like someone's DeviantArt profile come to life or whatever. Like they're on like graphic arts.
Wow, that was an apt comparison.
But it's still rad. I don't want to crap on it. I really like what they're doing. I'd love to see what they do next with that kind of that style down. They already have like that behind their belt. I'd like to see some gameplay kind of match it, but
it definitely does have some strong what was that? Journey feels.
Right, yeah. Especially your character's just kind of a cloaked person, kind of
stick legs.
Yeah. But
that Journey was good.
Journey was good. I came to that later, like towards the end of the PS3 era, and I dug it.
I think it's a great game. Like if you're ever having trouble falling asleep, play some Journey.
Interesting.
And you're good.
That's a good idea.
Yeah. City Skylines.
Yeah, I keep going back to City Skylines. There was a new DLC pack that was maybe a week ago or something. I finally got into it. It was just more control over the parks. So you can, it's a city simulator, builder, whatever you call it. But before, these parks that you had before, you just kind of place them just like any other SimCity. But they've almost included now, do you remember like Roller Coaster Tycoon, that kind of style of building this park out? But having control over like the bathrooms and the ticket prices and that kind of thing. They've almost implemented that into the parks development in the actual game. So you can just fully flesh out your parks and just really go to town and kind of customize them, which you can't do anything like that with any of the other buildings or properties in the game. It's pretty nuts.
Is that paid DLC? Or?
It is. It was like $15, $12, something like that.
Oh, that's pretty good.
Yeah. It was cool. I jumped into it, wasted another 5 hours. Like time goes by so fast when I play that game. And Megan makes fun of me because she claims I'm going to leave her for, which I don't know. I might be there.
That game Gris reminds me. There's a game you need to play, and I have immediately forgotten the name of it.
I can do some Googling too.
God, what was it? It's
as far as
Wonder Song.
Wonder Song.
Yeah,
interesting.
It is gorgeous. The gameplay is it's really weird because the gameplay is like it's not tight. It's very loosey goosey, but I still don't hate it. Like it's good enough in the story and the art style, and like the game is so damn charming.
Well, it's on Switch, so I'm already gonna stop it there. Yes, I'm on board. I'm completely everything should be on Switch.
Yeah, this is utterly adorable.
That is, that's awesome. So it's like these not stick figures, but like almost like a paper mache, sort of like a chunky, kind of like a Zelda, Breath of the Wild, not Breath of the Wild.
Paper Mario.
Yeah, Paper Mario. There you go.
Yeah.
So what is the gameplay? This is the trailer that I'm kind of skipping through, but what do you actually do? Or is it like story based, or there's some?
It's heavily story based. If you've ever played a Paper Mario game, it's very reminiscent of that sort of thing, where you're going around mainly solving like social puzzles.
Gotcha.
And it's extremely emotional, like in like this extremely optimistic and cheery way, because your main character is like unshakably positive in like a world that is not, which is reasonable. Right. And it's super adorable.
Nice.
I think you would like it.
That's cool. Well, that reminds me a little bit of Celeste, as far as like mixing the having the story kind of influence the gameplay and like have them go in line with each other. And I really dug the story in Celeste. So I'll have to check it out.
They were showing things they should not have in that trailer. Wow.
Well, we're kind of talking around it, so I had nothing that really is catching my eye as far as like spoilers. But alrighty, Gavin. So that's really all I've been playing. The Messenger I'm really hyped on. I think I want to review that game and put it on the channel. I think it'd be cool to And if you're down too, like whenever you have a game that you think you'd like to do that with, just adding it to the YouTube channel. And I think I'd like to spend some time, finish the Messenger, and then review it. I'm really digging it. But yeah, you have any interest in reviewing stuff or?
I can't remember the last time I finished a game.
Gotcha. Well, I don't even think, as long as you're honest in a review as far as, hey, I didn't finish it, but here's the vibes I got.
Yeah.
I feel like that's fair too.
Yeah.
There's some games like just online, like I'm thinking of Division 2, where it's like you can't really, it takes a while before you actually finish the game. So you can kind of have a early impressions kind of thing. That reminds you, have you been playing any more of Division?
I haven't really. I find that if I play it, it's like I said with Zelda, like I'll keep getting distracted, and then it's midnight and I have to wake up at 6. So I'm like,
yeah. That's also why I'm like gravitating towards these smaller Switch experiences, because I can just play it, pop it on, and then it's just up to me. But it really, you can do that with any game. But I've just been really in the mood for Switch games. And then I can, just put in handheld mode. I can watch, like Megan's watching all of the Game of Thrones, like rewatching them. Yeah. So she'll have that. I'm playing something else, and I get to kind of still watch Game of Thrones and recap some stuff.
I really do like the portability of the Switch. Right. Like it's just handy.
Mm-hmm. It's really everything the Vita, should have been. Yeah. It's kind of a bummer because I did have a Vita. It's a bummer to see them. I mean, it's cool because they took all those ideas and really improved on them, but there could have been something cool with that with Vita. But it is what it is. Mm-hmm. So let's get into some of the news. So let's see what happened this whole week. We talked in the past couple episodes about Borderlands being teased. It was finally announced over, it was last Tuesday. And then a bunch of stuff happened today too. So I was just going to kind of go into the detail on Borderlands. So did you watch the trailer for it?
I did. I was whelmed.
Okay, so there's some there's some of this online. Like I think GameSpot did an article on how it was kind of underwhelming. I don't know. I dug it. Like it just seems like more of the same stuff, which is I think what everybody wanted, right?
I think the thing that excited me most about it is like looking at all the locales, because really the last two Borderlands, like especially Borderlands 1 was desert. Yeah. Borderlands 2 fixed that problem a little bit, but it was still mostly desert. And this one looks like, I mean, the fact that you're going into a huge city.
Oh, yeah, that was pretty cool. Like this advanced, futuristic city. That was really cool.
Holy shit, that looks awesome. I don't know too much about the characters. I do know I've never played a Siren in Borderlands 1 because her gameplay didn't seem that interesting. Yeah. I didn't play a Siren in Borderlands 2 because her gameplay didn't seem interesting. Now in Borderlands 3, they've got this mega swole Siren with like...
Is that with that arm kind of...
Yeah, with all the fists.
Yeah.
And I guess they said that she's going to be like a sort of a brute character. And I'm like, nice. I'm going to play the shit out of that. Like, that looks so fun.
That's pretty awesome. Did you keep track of the story at all? The story never gripped me.
Not too much.
Yeah.
I mean, I just laughed at what was happening in Borderlands 2. Borderlands 1, it was pretty confusing. I am excited for that Borderlands re-release for PC.
Yeah. I guess some of the details too.
I thought I heard it was free for people who own it on PC.
If you own it on Steam, apparently it's already, it's a free like texture upgrade pack or whatever. Damn. There's some like quality of life updates too.
I always meant to finish it. Never did.
Yeah, me too. I never finished Borderlands 2. Did you play the the Handsome Jack collection or the some of the prequels that came out?
No, I never played the prequels. I heard they were not good.
Yeah, I didn't hear anything to write home about with those. But I pulled up GameSpot's article. Borderlands 3 trailer includes a gun with legs, Tiny Tina, and more. So just really talking about the announcement. This is from Timur Hussein over at Borderlands. So I'm going to kind of go over
just Borderlands, the first. GameSpot?
Or, GameSpot, yeah. Borderlands has their own website to announce their own thing.
They probably do.
So just to kind of do the intro on this. So Gearbox Software has finally confirmed Borderlands 3. So they revealed it at, now I'm paraphrasing, revealing the game's first trailer during the studio's PAX East panel. You can watch the trailer. Blue. Definitely head over to Timur Hussein's GameSpot article to check it out. But what's included in this article, which is an update, and I have it on a separate thing, but... the fact that some of the release dates were possibly leaked. So,
were they?
Yeah, so that was today. Initially, they didn't announce an actual timeline for Borderlands 3, but there were some more details to reveal soon. So there's a tweet that was deleted. So I'm going to pull that up right now. So the possible leak time was September 13th, is what I'm getting at.
That's really soon.
That does seem soon, yeah.
I don't think that's
well.
happening.
They've been quiet for a while, so I imagine it could possibly be done by then, right?
Well, I feel like they did all the hiring for this game not that long ago.
Oh, okay.
So, yeah, I don't know.
Now this was it's April 1st. This was released but then pulled in a kind of classic way where it does seem like these accidents do happen that way. So it does seem like it's possible, it's legit. Yeah. But so this is also from GameSpot, just commenting on that leak, but it was leaked through their Twitter account and then deleted. Or posted and then deleted.
Yeah.
But I don't know. It's just kind of the next big release that I think everyone's talking about right now.
Yeah.
But as far as like some of the big kind of franchises releasing before this next generation, I feel like this might be the last one.
Before this generation ends?
Yeah. What else? Maybe I'm missing something, but like I feel like cross-platform, PC. This is one of the last big ones to release.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was really it. We got a final announcement, possibly a release date.
Yeah,
we'll see.
And they're sliding in it.
What do you mean by that?
They're sliding.
Like the ability to slide.
Yeah, you can slide. And I heard people talking about possibly mantling.
Okay.
I feel like that would break the game.
Interesting. Well, yeah, this came in the original Borderlands 2 was like 2010, 2009 or something. No,
yeah, it was a long time ago. Yeah.
So where the normal just the normal ability as far as movement was kind of, they were already established as far as what you normally could do. Now it's been updated since then. So yeah, I know so there is a remake or like an HD kind of upgrade for Borderlands 2, which they are adding some quality of life stuff. So I pulled up IGN's article by Jonathan Dornbush. So Borderlands Game of the Year Edition updates original game, addresses some fans issues. So some things like these include a Borderlands 2 style mini-map in addition to the game's original compass, inventory updates that allow players to lock and label weapons as junk, and auto pickups of items from the ground. This is actually an update of the first Borderlands. So this is the Borderlands 1 Game of the Year Edition. And it'll be in 4K HDR, that kind of thing. But
that's cool.
Yeah, it'll be cool to revisit this because I haven't played Borderlands or Borderlands 2 in a long time.
Something I think would be weird is, so they have the VR. I haven't seen any trailers for the VR one. The thing I'm not really fully understanding is how aiming down sights would work, because when you aim down sights in the game normally, like it goes from like you kind of start to put your gun up to your face, and then it's basically like a cardboard cutout like overlay right on in front of your screen, and that's not gonna work that way in VR.
Gotcha.
So I really have no clue how that's gonna work.
I remember some of the reviews were mixed for Borderlands VR, but
are there already? Is it out?
Yeah, it came out a little while ago, maybe a couple months ago. I know IGN had a pretty negative review on it, which caused controversy where people actually playing it had a different view of it. But I'm going to look it up right now. Actually.
I thought they just announced it.
No, there's like an update to Borderlands VR. Oh. So let's pull up their Metacritic just to see. But I know, I remember IGN really kind of crapping on it. But okay, so 72. Nope, it's not bad at all. 72 Metascore on Metacritic. PlayStation Universe gives it an 80. We have Eurogamer Italy 70.
Bill Likes VR gives it a 2. Damn, Bill.
Yeah, he went hard in the paint against that one. Interesting. Okay, but yeah, it's out. It's been out for a little while. Do we have an actual date here? We don't. December 14th, 2018.
Did you play much of the first Borderlands?
A little bit. I got more into Borderlands 2 than I did the first one.
I think I'm definitely going to go through, because there's a character, I forget his name, Brick. I think his name is Brick. Is that the second game? I think that's the first game.
Is he kind of like the character art on the front?
He's like a big bald dude.
Yeah.
Or maybe that's the second one. I don't know. But basically, you can play the game wrong. Because you can, like, if you spec out your ability, you can practically run around using it almost infinitely.
Oh.
And like your cooldown, it's that. Yeah, he is bald. Well, sort of. And then so you can use it almost infinitely, and then your cooldown is super duper short, and you're not even using guns. You're just running around punching people dealing a ton of damage and taking almost no damage.
Gotcha.
So it's like I really do want to finish a playthrough as him because it's super bass-ackwards and really fun and reminds me sort of my time playing Skyrim where I was the dragon puncher. Yeah, except for this was more fun than punching a dragon to death because that kind of sucked. It was cool the first time, and then after that, you're like, all right, well.
Where it takes 30 minutes to kill this dragon.
No, it didn't take that long at all because I had the perk where the higher my armor rating was, the more my unarmed punches did.
Oh, nice. Okay.
Yeah.
I do remember a Fallout, a perk as well that was like that.
Oh, was there?
Upgrade your. Yeah, eventually you could find. Also, it's a weapon, but it was like I think it was in Fallout 3. This like automatic puncher machine thing. It was like you put on almost like a boxing.
I think
glove.
That's 4.
Is it 4?
Yeah.
It might have also been in 4 too.
Oh, okay.
But I do remember in 3. Yeah, but you had to build it, and actually you could just find it. But yeah, so Borderlands.
Nice.
I'm actually stoked to jump in there and play it for all.
Yeah.
So here's some stuff about. So the next news article was about. I don't know if you followed this. Announcer from Activision. So they're laying off 800 employees.
Yeah.
So I just kind of wanted to dig into this a little bit because it's related to a conference call where they kind of this seems to be the norm too, where even though they've reported like a record year, they still end up letting go of a lot of people, and so it's just kind of hard for me to understand. But I think a lot of people are just not figuring out the financials of it. But
well, unfortunately, it's a bit of. Are you aware of the sausage theory?
No, lay it on me.
Which is where if you love something, don't find out how it gets made.
Gotcha. As far as just the video game industry in general, or like behind the scenes?
Yeah, it's
gotcha.
There's a lot of bad stuff. I mean, there's a ton of studios that they hire up before. I mean, majority of studios that will hire up before they start making the game. They make the game and they lay off most of the staff.
Gotcha.
It's pretty well always been like this, and it really sucks.
But now 800 people seems like
it's a lot,
right? I was reading it was like 20% across the board or something. So I did pull up GameSpot's article. This is by Timur Hussein again. So just going into detail. So Activision Blizzard, the company behind Call of Duty, Overwatch, Candy Crush, has announced significant layoffs. Yeah, I guess that's under their belt too.
Damn.
Employees were notified of the cuts on Tuesday to coincide with the release of the company's annual earnings report, which saw it post its best results ever. Despite this strong performance, hundreds of people across Activision, Blizzard, and mobile game company King will be impacted by the layoffs. So they're working on. I just wanted to get this right. So Call of Duty, Candy Crush, Overwatch, Warcraft, Hearthstone, and Diablo in aggregate will increase approximately 20% over the course of 2019. So they're kind of shifting gears towards these properties, because that's their cash cow, really. So it's interesting for them to lay off so many people, but still experience such a huge year. It's a bummer.
Yeah,
but it kind of ties into my next thing. So it's related to Bungie, and Bungie severing ties or finally getting out of their deal with Activision.
And they said they got a new thing coming out on, is it the 6th?
Bungie?
Yeah, I think 6th or the 9th or some sort of variant of 3, multiple of 3. That's the word I was looking for.
Okay.
I just saw something about that just now. So this was kind of their first DLC or whatever without
the influence or
or
whatever they're kind of making them do.
So
gotcha.
I'm nervous for them because they kind of gotta prove that this is Bungie, and whatever they release here, this is Bungie.
Yeah. So I did pull up. So this is a Destructoid article. This is by Chris Carter. So April 9th. Yeah. So Bungie is planning a big quality of life update for Destiny 2, April 9th. That goes into more detail here. But So what was interesting with that conference call was kind of for their investors explaining why they severed the ties with Destiny and how it's kind of going that direction, but how they weren't really satisfied with the performance of Destiny 2. I feel like
I don't think anyone was.
Well, as far as like its financial performance, maybe not the quality of the game. I mean, I dug it, I had fun with it, but I don't know. Maybe these companies just dump millions and millions of dollars into these projects. Is there a way to scale that back and not, have to risk so much money involved?
Not if you want your games to look pretty.
Gotcha. But then you mentioned, I think it was Destiny 2 with the tools they were using as far as on the
That was Destiny
side.
1.
Destiny 1, okay.
Yeah, Destiny 1 had
That's
garbage
before Activision?
tools.
No, they actually made that deal from the get-go. I want to say. Yeah, that was part of the deal, I think, from the get-go.
No, I don't think it was.
No? I can pull it up. But so yeah, it just seems interesting to me that. So yeah, I actually have the same GameSpot article up. When Activision, Blizzard, and Bungie originally signed their 10-year publishing deal for Destiny back in 2010, one key component of the agreement was that Bungie would get to retain ownership of the Destiny IP. By comparison, Activision Blizzard owns the IP for its other major franchises such as Call of Duty, World of Warcraft. There are a number of benefits to owning an IP. So yeah, as far as them kind of seeing down the line, they're not even going to be able to, as far as Activision goes, own this thing they're investing money into. So they might as well just sever ties and let Destiny take the reins.
Yeah.
But
I mean, they clearly threw a bunch of money at it, and they're not making that money. I hope Bungie sticks around for a little bit. I think. I mean, the other thing that too about Bungie is like it's not necessarily the same Bungie as it was when they stopped making Halo.
Just with the cycling through of different personnel and stuff?
Like it's not the same employees necessarily as it was. Now there are definitely some veterans in there.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's just sort of weird now.
Do you foresee them doing another, the next iteration, or just like a new project as far as like
next iteration of Destiny?
Yeah. It would seem weird to build that base and then not provide Destiny 3.
I bet it's another Destiny. I don't think they're big enough to do two games at the same time.
Gotcha. Especially with a game like Destiny, you don't want to juggle that with two different,
right?
Or split your team into two for that one.
Yeah, that's just too much. They're not, they're not Hello Games. We can't be
right. Yeah, they need a smaller team. Jeez.
Goodness.
Is free to play off the table?
I think so.
Yeah.
I don't think that in their heads is a possible model.
Gotcha.
And I don't even think it would work that well with the game. Like I've never seen a skin in that game that I'm like, I need this. I would put money on this. It's gotcha. I don't know what is the thing in that game I would pay for.
There's a game that's similar in my mind.
Warframe?
That is, yeah, Warframe. Mm-hmm. As far as like I don't know if they started. I want to say they didn't start free to play, but they changed their model maybe through development or after its release.
That may be right.
But they kind of are in the same boat where it's a single player experience. I think there's online. I've never played it. There's multiplayer elements.
Oh
to
yeah,
it,
it's multiplayer.
But you can still kind of just they've made a model where people want to dump money into it, and it's been successful over time.
Yeah. Well, and it had what people were kind of hoping. People were hoping that I was for sure that it was kind of Anthem was going to adopt the Warframe model, where like you keep coming out with these cool new, frames or mechs or whatever, and you can try those out and run through the story in those and level them all up and then try them out, because Warframe just has tons and tons and tons of these really cool frames that play way different than each other. Like,
gotcha.
It's interesting
to go back and play it again.
Yeah, and the community absolutely adores that game, and they support that community 210%. Like, it's a really neat community.
There's a great NoClip documentary. I don't know if you've seen that, but
probably not.
It's awesome. So I didn't know much about Warframe, but NoClip did a documentary on Warframe. Got to talk to the developers and go into detail, but they kind of. Just talk about the history, the beginning point, and just like them experiencing all the different hiccups and then changing. But they talk about the community within Warframe 2 and how it was just vital to them sticking around. But I'll send you a link. Check it out. It's really good.
It's what I think it was? Warframe. I don't think it was free to play to start. I think it was just not fast when it started.
Okay.
Because like now it's like a bajillion miles an hour, cartwheeling, flipping, wall running down hallways. Yeah. And I don't think that's how it was when it started.
No, and I think they go into detail on this documentary too, of them changing or adding the different abilities. I think there was just somebody playing the game who was playing with one character's ability to like roll around and move around and just to traverse faster. Yeah. And they decided to kind of explore that. Yeah. But it's really good. It's really good. All their stuff is awesome. But I'll send you that. But yeah, so that's some stuff about Activision. Really, just quickly kind of skimming the top on Activision, but. There's this thing I wanted to get your take on it. So Valve kind of sort of tease, and they have some more info since this initial thing went up, but
and it's not an April Fool's joke.
Apparently not. Yeah. Although it's always risky to release stuff on April Fool's.
It is, yeah. It's always fun when like somebody does something silly for April Fools and it turns out that it's actually real. Like those are the best ones.
Yeah, there's one that's possibly real too. I was going to show you too.
I thought Oculus was Valve. Who's
no, Oculus is Facebook. They bought them out for $1 bajillion at one point. But Valve does. I want to say they partner with HTC.
Maybe that was it. It was like the Vive or something. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So this is they've initially teased their next thing.
What is this? What was that? We'll come back to that later.
Okay. They initially teased this this image of their next VR unit. So I pulled up the article from Kotaku, Zach Zawisen. Yeah, so it's kind of hidden, not hidden, but they've kind of disguised some of the features and stuff. But yeah, there's just an initial image, and what they did leak today, as far as whether it was on purpose or not, but was a release date for this unit. So this was today. Pulling up the Engadget article. So it was it loads. June 15th apparently is the possible ship date for their next VR unit. Some of the specs too came out. So I've pulled up Engadget's article by John Fingas, which I hope that's how you say his name, because that's awesome. So he goes into detail, but you'll need a reasonably powerful PC to handle the Index, which is
Index.
So the Valve.
That is the most programmery ass name.
Yeah, and it's got I dig the headphones on the side too. It's interesting. So Valve's Index VR headset. Yeah. But as far as some of the specs, you'll want a dual-core processor with hyper-threading, 8 gigabytes of RAM, and either a GeForce GTX 970 or Radeon RX 480 for graphics. I'm already bored just saying that sentence.
Yeah.
Although Valve really wants you to have a quad-core CPU and GTX 1070 class video.
Well, that's a tall glass of nope for me.
Interesting. Yeah, I'm the same way where it's like, that's not interesting to me. I'm glad that's there, but I'm really more interested in say Oculus in their that mobile, that unit that's on its own. I forget what it was called. But that's interesting to me. I just don't have any, foresee myself buying a super high-end PC anytime soon or building one. So, but it's there for people.
It always seems weird to me. It seems like the people selling the VR don't know how to it's like they're not keeping price point in mind. Because when people are selling a console, right, they're competing for really low price point, and they'll sell the console at a deficit and try and make it back up with games, or PCs will have really good settings for all of the things, and then VR comes along and just throws it all out of the window, and you just need a beast. And so you need a beast to begin with, and that costs a ton of money.
Yeah.
Then you need the VR headset, and that costs a ton of money, takes up a ton of room. It's
I guess they're really trying to advertise towards just hardcore gamers, because you're not gonna. Is this going to be at your local Walmart? Are they trying to appeal to the moms buying it, or is it really just directly to hardcore PC users that are going to want that?
But then it's extra hardcore, because you can still be a hardcore gamer, but you need a fat wallet on top of that, and that's a rough intersection.
Yeah. I imagine they've done the research and they figured that we're going to sell it for this. There's no leaked info on the actual price point, but I imagine it's going to be $700, $1,000, something like that.
I hope you can take off those headphones though. I
imagine so. It seems weird. It seems kind of I think of RoboCop-ish or something to have all these
look RoboCop-ish
attachments on it. But they're doing their VR thing.
Oh.
Yep.
Everyone's got to throw their money in the ring.
Yeah. I found this cool little thing. I thought you would dig it, but it's just a dock for a Switch. Yeah. That looks like a Nintendo 64.
I saw a really cute one as well. That was that one's pretty good.
Yeah. This is by Hyperkin.
It was made out of a GameCube. And so it's you just stick it in the middle of a GameCube. Oh, did they
modify it to actually put it in there? Okay.
Yeah, it was a busted GameCube. So many people in the comment section were upset. They were just you wasted perfectly good GameCube.
We have to almost include in the title, hey, this is a broken.
Right. Well, people still didn't care. They were just I don't care if that thing's broken. You could have fixed it. It's
sure, okay.
You know enough to tear that thing in half and put a dock in there. You can fix it. It's Jesus.
Yeah, I don't agree at all. It was dope.
Yeah.
I do remember seeing pictures of it. It was awesome.
Yeah.
But yeah.
I like the 64 one. That's pretty cute.
You know what? We're talking about some of the April Fool's stuff. So I didn't pull it up, but IGN, they always do a thing every year.
Yeah, people got mad about it.
The one today, so like there was like a fake Nintendo Direct that they had that was exclusively on their site, and they announced stuff like Half-Life 2 ported to Switch. My buddy, I work with him today at the coffee shop. He was out on his break reading stuff. He's like, "Oh shit, are you seeing this?"
No.
And I was like, "Well, remember, it's April 1st," and he's just kind of looking at it. He's like, "God damn it!" Like but I've been there, and I just know because I've been. Not burned, but like I've been tricked so many times.
Yeah. Well, did you actually see the fake Nintendo Direct they did?
No, I didn't see it. I just kind of through him I saw, and I was like, "Yep."
Yeah.
Yep.
It was very well edited. Which
they always put money behind their
IGN.
stuff.
Yeah, they throw money behind it.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it was kind of brilliant in the way that they start off really reasonable. They're like, "All right, Ocarina of Time for Switch." Okay, Wind Waker for Switch. There we go. Majora's Mask for Switch. And then he goes through every single Zelda game, including like
who's this dude? Okay.
Legend of like Zelda, Wand of Gamelon, and like the really bad like Philips CDI ones. And then he's like, all right, so, and then he just announces everything. It was really well done.
Okay.
But I remember I was watching like Twitch this morning while I was getting ready, and people were just like mad about it. Just didn't get it. They were just like, "That's not a funny joke, Nintendo." It's like Nintendo didn't even do it.
No.
So
it's frustrating because it's just a joke. It's April 1st. It's April Fool's Day. Just have fun. Yeah, you'll get tricked, but I think that frustration is only people just being mad because they were tricked, and they feel the need to go online and be trolls. But it's just fun.
Yeah.
And I mean, if anything, I understand that Zelda or Nintendo probably knows the demand for this kind of thing on Switch. So if anything, if it kind of shows them some of the attention, just even in the anger that people are getting for being tricked, maybe it kind of shows them like, hey, there's a big demand for this. Yeah. But I'm 100% sure they understand that demand.
Right.
But especially Wind Waker, that's like a no-brainer for Switch. But yeah.
I hope they get it. I think it'll
you think?
Get it. I don't see why it wouldn't.
There was another one that was trapped on Wii U that I guess it's just the remake, the Wind Waker remake on Wii U.
I doubt it's that hard to part from the port from
think,
the Wii
right?
U. I mean, I don't know, but
yeah. So I have another. We're just kind of going down the line. I have this other article pulled up from Cyberpunk. So there was a sort of a. They had a showing at. Oh no, they weren't at. I was thinking they were at PAX East. They were not. So this is another developer or not programmer, not developer, a investor meeting or investor conference call. Jesus.
Gotcha.
So they kind of talked about what they're thinking for the next year. So I pulled up IGN's article about the subject. Colin Stevens is the author. So CD Projekt Red says E3 2019 will be its most important one ever, in quotes, even when compared to last year's major showing from Cyberpunk 2077. So I feel like...
was that at E3? Oh, well, it was behind closed doors.
Yeah, so they did show it, and then eventually they released that video that everyone got to see a couple months later. But so they're really hyping up, for their investors anyways, this next E3. And I do think it's because, if we're just reading into this, it's because... focusing on this E3 being the biggest one and not maybe next year because it will release in the span between this E3 and the next E3.
Yeah,
is what I imagine. So that would give us, another year and a half or something for it.
I mean, they've said like it's pretty far off.
Gotcha.
Here's what I think it's going to be the biggest E3. So we're going to see Cyberpunk gameplay.
Like
people are going to. I think people are going to be able to play it. I think. What's that? Gwent.
Yeah, the card game.
Yeah, Gwent is coming out on. Is it out by itself?
I thought it was. Is there some kind of expansion thing or something?
I think it's coming out on PC. It's going to come out on phones, tablets, watches. All the things. I don't think it is out.
No, it might not be.
So I think we're getting Gwent, and then
Gotcha.
Their true killer app, which is going to be the Geralt dating sim. And that's just going to be how they fund Cyberpunk. Like,
yeah, you could definitely do it
the
that way.
cheapest game they could make, and it's going to fund Cyberpunk.
So there's an open beta May 2017. So it was released Windows October 2018. Released on PS4, Xbox One December 4th, 2018. So there's been some expansions from it too since then.
Oh.
But yeah. Maybe just more news on Gwent, more expansions.
Yeah. Biggest E3.
Yeah, but I feel like so that gives them till 2020, right? Till late 2020 to release it, and to still be before E3 2020. Or if I got that right. But
it could be.
Yeah, but I think you're right. Where it's at least playable in some capacity, or there's a live demo or something showing just an actual live playthrough. Oh. But yeah, so everyone's been kind of, reading into that tweet or that comment on their fiscal report. So that is
exciting. Could just be kind of hyping their investors because their investors had to be throwing so much money at this thing.
And they do, but usually that's often what ends up getting leaked there is because they have to kind of give them a rundown of the next year or two without revealing everything, but still kind of keeping them happy. Yeah. But yeah, and everyone's just super hungry for more stuff from that game.
Oh, I can't wait.
Yeah, that's really it for some of the stuff this past week. April 1st stuff today, but yeah.
I'm trying to think if there were any other really good pranks. Let's see.
There was there's
Rivals of, I don't know how to pronounce it, Ether dating sim. Let's see here. Oh, a good one I really liked. It came out super early, so I'm a big fan of this site called GameJolt.com.
GameJolt.
They've done a lot for me.
Yeah.
And just helping my games get attention. And it's a cool little publishing platform. And their big joke this year was that they were doing a rival to Stadia. So they're like, we're launching our own version of Stadia. And I feel like they do this brilliantly every year. They have their designer go absolutely ham trying to copy whatever the newest, trendiest thing is and throw their own spin on it. And I remember one year it actually got me. Like, I forget what it was. It was the stupidest thing. God, what the fuck was it? It was...
But I did see
was it late access or something like that?
Okay.
Something. Yeah, they did something. But yeah, their own version of Stadia, which I think was hilarious.
See, yeah, I know you shared it. It was pretty funny.
And their programmers are almost brilliant enough to they're brilliant, but that's a lot to do.
Gotcha.
Let's see what else was there. I heard there was like a 3-bit Worms.
A what? So it's the Jolta?
Yeah, the Joltia.
Indie platform games, Jolt introduces Google Stadia competitors to Joltia.
Kirby is now Square. Oh, this one I thought was hilarious. The Corsair game launcher. That would have been great if a ton of companies just jokingly announced their game launcher, because right now we're in the game launcher apocalypse right now.
Yep. That was one thing too that was on that same leak for Borderlands 3 on their Twitter was a mention that they'll be on the Epic Game Store. But that was also removed from that leak. But
was it?
Yeah. There was a pillow from one of the really big Mass Effect characters that was I think it was a not an April Fool's thing, it was a legit release. There was that
Sergeant Shepard body pillow.
No, there's that alien with kind of the weird angled head, but it was like a body pillow in his shape, but it was actually being released. I don't have it. But yeah, that was another April Fool's thing. Huh. But yeah.
Interesting.
That's kind of it for the whole week. I didn't download it, but I did see that one game came out with the robots, and you're in Sweden fighting these robots in the 80s.
Oh, I heard it was so bad. I'm so sad.
Yeah. I was even tempted to just jump in, but apparently there's just not a whole lot there.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's a huge bummer. But God, I wish I could remember the name.
It's especially sad too because they were so punk rock about it. They're like, look, we're going to make this game that no one's going to publish. I don't know why I gave them a terrible British accent. They were like, we're going to make a game that no one's going to publish. And we're going to publish it ourselves. It'll be great. And then they published it themselves and it was not great.
Yep.
So that sucks.
Yeah, I did see it. But it was kind of a bummer to see the reception that they got.
Yeah.
Not very high Metacritic. 48 Metacritic.
I don't know if I feel like there was another major release that came out this week. Was there?
Well, we had a Sekiro, Shadows Die.
That was last week, though, right?
Was that last week?
Here,
yep, possibly. Yeah, go for it.
Yeah, I click on that.
Yoshi's Crafted World, which I'm interested in playing. But, yeah, that looks pretty cool.
If I go to this screen. Wait, is Twilight Zone?
Apparently, you can watch the first episode of Twilight Zone free now, I think. Yes.
Girl.
I'm down for that.
I'm going to check that out. I don't care about that score right there. I'm going to watch it.
No, fuck all that. I just want to see it. Yeah. New notable games. So, yeah, we had Sekiro Division. I mean...
Tropico 4?
Yeah, I've never gotten to the Tropico series. I feel like I'd be into it just with the... Okay, so Assassin's Creed 3 Remaster. This caught my eye, too. Like, I kind of skipped the third one. Really, everything past 2, I think.
Yeah.
But I love the setting, that time frame in early America. But, yeah. So the remaster seems to be... 74 Metacritic seems to be received really well. But...
Sure. Walking Dead is done.
It's the final episode recently. Yeah.
Glad I got to finish.
Right. Yeah, I don't know. I haven't tried any of them. I do want to get into it now that it's fully, it's finally complete. I do need to.
I would recommend, if you're gonna play through, don't do what I did, where you play the first one on the border of blackout drunk. Because I played through like 2 or 3 episodes, really, really hammered, and when I got back to it, I'm like, how did we get here?
Yeah.
I will say the alcohol kind of helps with the decisions because they're like tough decisions. And like the game, the thing I think is brilliant is it does not let you be wishy-washy. If you are wishy-washy with your decisions, you try and make everyone happy, people are going to die.
Interesting.
If you try and make everyone happy, everyone will hate you.
Okay. So you can't just play down the line or down the line.
No, absolutely not. You have to pick sides, and that was great. It's really brilliant in that sense. But
I do remember the time frame you have to respond or to decide, rather.
It's pretty tight.
Yeah.
Although then they made the Twitch version of it where it was like longer response times, or I think they made a Twitch version of it. I mean, I think that's good, but that's
part of the stress of the whole experience is,
right. Yeah. You got to make a decision. You got to make it quick.
I always liked, and I remember the one of the game mechanics was, I think it carried over to the other Telltale games, but when you make a decision, you'll see a character going, oh, so-and-so will remember that.
Yeah.
It's like, okay. But me and Meg will make fun of each other and just like say that, like that will pop up in our head.
Yeah.
When you make a decision.
I mean, that's a solid meme right there. Yeah. It's like, I mean, it was great, and it hurt so bad, and I liked it too, and I really need to finish the Batman Walking Dead series. Yeah, okay. And that felt really good. It was weird how violent Batman was in that. Like, he really... shits were not given.
Yeah.
But that was that. I don't know why that one got me just as hard with the like, the penguin will remember that. Like, I don't want, can you not? I don't want to be the reason why you're the way you are.
Right.
Like, or I think, what was it? Was the penguin your friend? Yeah, I think your penguin was the friend at the start.
Oh, really? Are you playing, is it like a before Batman story? You're already Batman in the game?
Or you're already Batman. So... And even from what little... Now, I never got past episode 1, but I thought it was interesting that they ever so slightly tweaked the origin story.
Oh, okay.
Which you never see people do. And I was down.
Okay.
I was down for a tweak. I guess with the exception of... Wasn't Michael Keaton's Batman, like, it's not normally the Joker that kills his parents?
Ooh, I'm not sure. I feel like they back at that point, it was still the run-of-the-mill story where somebody... Well, no, they die, but I'm not sure who's responsible for them in those movies. But yeah.
Well, in the Michael Keaton one, in the first one, for sure, It was the Joker.
Okay.
Yeah. And then, yeah, I don't think it normally is, or maybe it is sometimes in the comics. I don't know.
It's usually like a gangster, and then he finds them somehow. Or I'm thinking I'm merging the same origin stories with Spider-Man, because they're very similar, where he kills Uncle Ben and he lets him go.
There's a lot of origin stories.
Yeah.
Can we rename the podcast Too Many Origin Stories?
Yeah. Okay. All right, man. Yeah,
origin overload.
That was it. That's it for the whole week, I think.
Nice. It was a good week.
Yeah, a lot of stuff happened.
Yeah.
It's every week now. Something's going down.
It's a good time to be a gamer.
Eventually, E3's coming pretty soon. So it's like June, 2 months.
Is June really in 2 months?
June is 2 months. I think E3's like maybe late May, early June. But it's very soon. So we have that coming down the line. E3 2019.
Not ready.
Yeah. So, I mean, more stuff there. So, okay. Yeah, June 11th.
The more important question is, when does Detective Pikachu come out?
I want to say that's a summer movie, right?
Are you going to watch it? I'm going to watch it.
I don't know.
It looks legitimately funny. Like, I've yet to see a bad trailer.
I'm sure it'll be cool. I'm sure they have the tone down. May 10th. Oh, that's very soon.
Nice. Yeah. And I am very sad though that they did apparently they did some voice tests with like samples of Danny DeVito for Pikachu.
Really?
And they did not go with it. It's like, God. Oh, it would have been so good. Like you watch a trailer for Detective Pikachu and you could mentally replace every single line with DeVito. And it's like, I mean, I think Ryan Reynolds' interpretation is great, but Danny DeVito would have knocked it out of the park 2 times over.
Well, I think the original, is it based on a game, right? Or a cartoon?
Probably both.
With that original one that's in Japanese, they go with like an older Japanese guy, like a much older Japanese, like as far as how he sounds. Huh. So I feel like, that would make more sense with having DeVito do it, because he's just an older dude. But at least maybe for the DVD, just have like 5 different options you can switch. That'd be...
We'll do Ryan Reynolds. We'll do... Danny DeVito. Yeah. We'll do Sarah Silverman.
That'd be awesome. Samuel Jackson would be really cool.
Samuel Jackson.
Like Snakes on a Plane, Samuel Jackson.
I would love me some Jack Black.
That could be cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind that. I'm sure it'll be awesome. Yeah.
Yeah. So.
And then there's the Sonic movie too that will come out eventually. But
that is being voiced by Danny DeVito, right? Sonic.
That would maybe be the only thing that makes sense in that movie, but no, it's not. It's the guy from not 30 Rock, Parks and Rec.
Who?
John Ralphio.
I'm down.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Right?
That is absolute perfect. Like, he does cockiness so damn well, and Sonic has to be cocky, which is funny because, like, have you seen an interview with John Ralphio?
I think the last one I saw was when he was also doing a thing with the Stranger Things kid, because it looked.
Oh, yeah. It's just so weird to see him not be John Ralphio. Yeah. Like, it's so ingrained in me that's John Ralphio. Like,
Yeah.
But
which I'm also rewatching just Parks and Rec now. That's kind of replaced my we don't know what's put on Netflix, just put that on kind of thing. Like The Office used to be that too. So now we just put on Parks and Rec.
I think the better thing about Parks and Rec than The Office, for me at least in that regard, is it always leaves you in a good mood. You never finish an episode in a bad mood.
Yep. And what's her face? Oh God, the main character in Parks and Rec. It's
all I can think of is
she's
Amy
just the
Poehler.
opposite of Michael Scott so much.
Right.
But dang, can't remember her name. I watch the show like every day for the past couple of weeks now.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna Google Parks and Rec. Not that it matters at all.
What is her?
But and not Tina Fey. Because that's Amy Poehler is the actress, but
Leslie Knope. There we go.
Sure. Yeah. Yeah, and I love that she's the opposite of Michael Scott, because it's the same writers or whatever.
Yeah.
But yeah, I can't wait to get back into more Messenger. I'm hoping to beat it this week and then kind of figure out the whole review thing. But
there we go. Did I see suggested added segments?
Oh yeah, I don't have anything for that, but I was thinking to so a segment idea would be questions for Gavin, and I'd give Gavin one question a week about some game mechanic and how it works, and he has explained to me in the easiest way possible, like explain to me like I'm a 5-year-old how does this thing work? Like I'm always picking your brain about reflections in games or mirrors in games. They always stand out to me when they work, when they don't work.
Right.
And so I'm always trying to figure out.
That's the worst thing to pick my brain about because I remember my buddies in college were trying to explain to me how those shaders work, and I'm like,
There was a thing recently about some kind of just user created like a lighting kit for Minecraft was dropped or teased just within that community, and it added ray tracing, if that's the right thing. But it makes the reflections nuts. Like it looks like whatever Minecraft 2 would be. And there's a bunch of mods you can do, but this one looks incredible.
That's cool.
But, it has to do with lighting, and you just adjust the lighting a little bit, and everything looks nuts. But I don't have an idea for you yet on what to ask you about. But that's what I'm thinking of. Originally, I was thinking like for the podcast name would be Questions for Gavin, because really I would just be me picking your brain about whatever's going on. But yeah.
Nice.
Yep, that's it.
All right,
guys. That's it for the Plastic Cards podcast. I'm Fonzie. Find me at Fonzie Pants on Twitter.
I'm Gavin. Find me at Drunk Devs on Twitter.
Alrighty, that's it. We'll see you. Bye-bye.